On my way to Dinosaur National Park, I passed by this abandoned old log cabin. Look how old it is. I had to take a picture. Here it is, Dinosaur National Park. I made it. 252 to 66 million years ago, dinosaurs roamed the earth. Approximately 252 million years ago, during the Permian-Triassic extinction event, Earth's temperatures reached 122 to 150 degrees. Look how ugly that thing is. The ocean temperatures exceeded 104 degrees. And this was what was believed to have contributed to the largest mass extinction in today's history. There's been a lot of debate about what killed the dinosaurs, but scientists believe it was a 6-mile wide asteroid the size of Mount Everest, traveling 20 miles per second. But where is the evidence of this asteroid?
The blast annihilates everything within its reach. Earthquakes and tsunami tear across the planet. And then it begins to rain. Not water, but scorching hot rock. Made from the asteroid and the bedrock it had struck. Devastating remnant of the asteroid strike.
The ring of cenotes, which means sinkholes, located in the Yucatan Peninsula, is characterized by a semicircular band of cenotes, or sinkholes, with a radius of approximately 56 miles. These cenotes vary in depth, with some reaching several meters and others exceeding 420 feet. Around this time, there was a large inland sea called the Western Interior Seaway, and it covered Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. And it went from the Arctic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico, splitting North America in two. When the crater hit, a tsunami also hit, and the dinosaurs were entombed in mud and then turned into the stone. A ton of dinosaur fossils were discovered at Dinosaur National Monument in 1909, and many are now in Carnegie Museum of Natural History in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. After exploring the area, I made it to the museum, where they erected a building around the mountain that they found a bunch of dinosaurs smashed into. The dinosaurs that they found, the type of dinosaurs they found were sauropods: Apatosaurus, Camarasaurus, Diplodocus, Stegosaurus, and Allosaurus. And I hope I'm saying those right, because I'm not really that familiar with dinosaurs. But I did look them up. Here's the Apatosaurus, who might have cracked his tail like a whip, or maybe not. This is the Camarasaurus. And then we have the Barosaurus, the Diplodocus, and the Stegosaurus. And also this evil-looking thing, which was the Allosaurus. But supposedly sauropods only eat plants. So back at the museum, you'll see that the entire skeletons, or the bones of these dinosaurs, with some major apocalyptic event, were turned to stone, or covered with mud and then turned to stone, and all smashed into this rock that they enveloped with the building and turned into a museum. And just here are the pictures of the rocks, and if you look, you can see like the vertebrae and the skeleton, and there's also one picture where you can see the entire vertebrae, or the entire skeleton actually, of the dinosaur. And this Dinosaur National Monument area is also where the Ute and Fremont people lived following the dinosaurs, or some might believe that people lived with the dinosaurs. I have seen some petroglyphs that people claim are dinosaurs, but then again, they could have seen some fossils. This one is from the Black Dragon Canyon in Utah. And another one that I found, it's kind of hard to find them for some reason online. This one here from the Anasazi Indians. Now, a lot of people think that's a fake, but I'm not one of those people who are going to try to pretend like I know exactly 100% what was going on 66 million years ago or 1 billion years ago. And you find those people on both sides. They want to pretend like they know 100%, but nobody really was here. So we have to be honest with ourselves sometimes. Nobody really knows. Not 100% at least. Science is based on theories. That being said, I found a whole bunch more cave art depicting dinosaurs and man together. And I'll have to make a video about that one day. And not only are the dinosaurs in this area, but there's also history from the Ute and the Fremont people. So I drove over to take a look at some of that stuff. But first, here's a couple of more big bones. So I came across this area where the Indians lived at one time, and you can still see their structure standing right there that they built. And unfortunately, I didn't take videos. I only took pictures because I wasn't planning on making a YouTube video. But when I walked in to that area, I found some petroglyphs. These are some crazy Martian looking people. Looks like it's a Fremont style. And I saw this one and I thought it looked like a ship. But I'm not sure what it is. So after I saw the petroglyphs, I ventured on over to Josie's cabin. But on my way, I saw Turtle Mountain. You see the turtle up there? I wonder if that was carved or if it just ended up like that somehow. So Josie Bassett. I did a video about her in my last video. You can find it in my feed. This is the Green River, by the way. And yeah, that's in the area. So she moved to Dinosaur National Monument after she was living over at Jarvie Ranch. And she moved there all by herself. And her cabin is still standing there. So I drove over to see it. I had to take a lot of dirt, rocky roads. It was kind of scary. But here's some of the scenery. I thought that might have been like an old hitching post. No. When I got to the cabin, I saw this information posted about bears and wildcats. So here's her cabin. And I went inside. It's pretty dilapidated, but here it is. So around the same time that the dinosaur bones were found in 1909, two men, George Hood and Bill McKinley, arrived at Jarvie's ranch under the pretense of seeking work. After sharing a meal with Jarvie, they forced him to open a safe which contained only a $100 bill and a pearl-handled revolver. Following a brief struggle, they shot Jarvie in the back and head, dragged his body to a boat, and set it adrift on the Green River. Jarvie's body was discovered 8 days later, 25 miles downstream near the gates of Ladore. Despite a $1,000 reward and a manhunt, the killers were never apprehended. Determined to bring his father's killers to justice, Jimmy Jarvie, his son, relentlessly pursued them, eventually tracking them down in a town in Idaho. However, upon his arrival, he was pushed from a second-floor window and died instantly. The killers were never caught, and their identities remain unknown.